If you or someone you know suffers from oily skin and you want to learn multiple tips on how to avoid an oily face throughout the day, then keep watching. Hey, what's up y'all? My name is Raquel, or people call me Rock, and this is my channel Rock Natural. If you're not subscribed, you can expect to see beauty, hair, makeup, tips and tricks along with women empowerment, so don't forget to hit the subscribe button. Well, let's go ahead and get right into this video. In this video, I'm going to be sharing with you multiple tips that have helped me, someone who has, I use the word suffer, but to me it's not necessarily a bad thing because it always looks like my skin is glowing. But you know, there are those times where I'm like, I literally have a whole bottle of oil on my face. So these tips have helped me prevent an oily face throughout the day. I first want to start by saying there are some scientific things like genetics, and with age, whether you're younger or older, like the oily can decrease based off your age. And then where you live, like you obviously can't help where you live, and so all those three things contribute to oily skin as well. But there are things that help. So I want to start with a little scientific background. So oily skin is caused by sebaceous glands, and this is basically something that's all over your skin, and it helps to keep your skin healthy, and it produces sebum. So sebum is the waxy, oily stuff that comes, it's on your scalp, it's on your face, it's on your skin. And so if there's too much of it, then that's where like the oily skin can come, and you can have clogged pores, and it can cause acne, etc, etc. So I personally have this issue where I find my skin to be very oily sometimes, and I have multiple skincare routines, which I will put right here. But now we're gonna go into the tips that help. So the first thing I'm going to talk about is your morning and your night routine. So you don't want to overdo it with your morning and your night routine, but you want to have something that works well for you and something that you're consistently doing. So finding something that works and then sticking to it. The things that we're going to talk about also that are on the list are things that you can include in your routine that will help with the control of oils. The second thing, which I find has really helped me a lot, I don't know why I like to throw up the numbers, is a steamer. So the benefits of a steamer is that it opens your pores, it removes the debris, it helps to get all of those nasty things out of there, and it really helps to prevent things like acne. And for someone who has oily skin, getting all that stuff out is amazing. So I do have a whole video on a steamer that I like to use, and I like to steam. I'm so bad at it, but I like to do it at least once a week, especially if I'm wearing more makeup than I do usually. Then I really like to get all of that out of there. I use this in combination with either a toner or a cleansing product. The next thing that we're going to talk about, the third thing, is using a cleanser that foams. I really think that it helps to remove the layer of the dead skin, and what I like to do is use a cleanser that foams in combination with my spin brush. So some people can't, when people hear spin brush, they hear exfoliating, and some people can't exfoliate every day. I personally, every time I get in the shower, I'm using my spin brush with the cleanser, but every now and then I will just use my hands to really get in there so it's not as harsh on my skin. But what I found is that it helps with my pores, and it helps to remove my dark spots if I have any that month, if you know what I'm saying. You want to finally, kind of like I do with my hair, rinse my face off with cold water, and this will really help to seal my pores. And then when I get out the shower, I'm patting my face dry, not rubbing. So those are two things when you're cleansing that I would suggest that you try if you don't already do those things. The next thing is a moisturizer. Moisturizer is huge in multiple reasons, because you want to moisturize your face. Like I have some moisturizer on right now, but you don't want your face to look oily. So it's all about finding some moisturizers that work for you. Two that I've mentioned before that I put here in here. I like to use the e.l.f. Daily Hydration Moisturizer, and then I also like to use the Kiehl's Hydration Moisturizer. I maybe have butchered the name of that, but I think I would try some type of other product, but those are the main ones that I find have worked well for my hair. I like to use them at night, in the morning, skin looking fresh, because for me I feel like there's a difference between someone's skin looking oily and then someone's skin glowing, right? So it's just all about the look that you like. I know that when I'm really oily, when I take my hand against my forehead and my hand comes back and there's just like a bunch of oil, if that doesn't happen, I'm okay with my skin looking dewy and fresh, because it means that it's healthy and I have a good skincare routine in place. The next thing we're going to talk about is toner. So all of these things kind of fall into your routine, but they were separate enough for me to have to talk about them individually. So toner can be drying if it contains alcohol, but there are toners that are soothing for the skin. For example, I love the witch hazel toner, which I will put here again, and then I also love one from Trader Joe's, but recently I've just been sticking to the witch hazel one, which everyone has tried for the most part, and I feel like that works really well for my skin. The one thing I do though is toners can do one of two things, right? Like if you're cleansing your face and you spray your toner, it can also cleanse. So you can take, you know, a wipe again and see if you missed any excess dirt after cleansing. Or it's also meant just to refresh and set your, you know, set the moisture in and be soothing to the skin. So I will spray and kind of pat it into my skin so that it's really doing its magic. So this one does not necessarily have to do with your morning or night routine, but it is important. So there are certain foods, I know this sounds crazy, certain foods to avoid. So ones that are over processed, like burgers, pizza, but we all love those. Even I love those things. So that's why you have other things in place to help control it. But if you're really looking to change your diet anyways, like avoid processed food, sugary foods. I try to avoid sugar, but let me tell you, it's my weakness, so it doesn't always happen. And then dairy. Oh, this one, dairy, okay, between ice cream and cheese and sour cream, like those three things together. But I try to just limit my intake. Everything in moderation, right? Everything in moderation. Lastly, if you're wearing makeup and you have oily skin, there are multiple things, processes, items, products that you can use so that your skin does not look oily. I actually have a video where I'm showing you the products I use for oily skin, but it does not stop there, because I will be doing other product makeup videos for oily skin. But I want to say that if you don't necessarily wear matte foundation and you have oily skin, you will continue to struggle with oily skin throughout the day, and you will see that. So make sure you're subscribed, because you do not want to miss out on that video if you are part of my oily skin clan. In this video, we talked about multiple tips on how to control your oil throughout the day if you're like me, who have oily skin. One other tip that I did not talk about is it doesn't hurt to not necessarily wipe your face, but get blocked papers that people use for their makeup, and you know, use that in your oily skin areas if you are finding that your face is super oily and you know you're in the beginning stages of finding a system that works for you that helps to minimize the oil. Like I said, if you're new here, you've made it this far in the video and you're not subscribed, be sure to hit the subscribe button. Stay up to date with me. Follow me on Instagram, and I will see you in my next upload. Toodles!